On this episode, I am talking HOAs. Coming up. Welcome, I'm your host, Steve Penate, realtor and host of the Steve Talks Real Estate Show, where we bring you value, content, and tips in all things real estate and housing related. So today I want to talk about HOAs. Now, if you've purchased a house before in a newer development, you probably live in an area that is within an HOA boundaries. It's estimated around 70% of homes in Maricopa County are built within HOA communities. So I want to talk a little bit about these HOAs. So for a lot of people, HOAs are kind of like a love-hate relationship. Sometimes you love them and sometimes you hate them. You love them whenever they are the ones knocking at your neighbor's house that is not keeping up with their landscaping, and you hate them whenever they come knocking at your door telling you to remove something from your property, right? Well, I want to talk about two things you should be doing before you sign the house you are purchasing in an HOA neighborhood. So let's be honest, your real estate agent most likely doesn't know every rule and regulations for the thousands of HOAs there are all across Maricopa County. So it's very important you as the buyer are proactive when it comes to purchasing a house where there's an HOA. So here are two things you should be asking about before you are signing for the house you're buying. Number one, you should be asking for the CC&Rs prior to the purchase. CC&R stands for covenants, conditions, and restrictions. And that is gonna be a very intense and long document that is going to outline everything that consists within the HOA, the rules, the do's and the don'ts and the cans and the cannots, and it's going to be very complex. So number two, you should be asking the questions you have. For example, there are HOAs that have pet restrictions. I've seen HOAs that only allow 2 pets. So if you have 3 pets, guess what? One has to go, or you have to talk with the HOA to truly understand what's going on. There are height restrictions oftentimes of things higher than the wall surrounding your house. There are landscaping restrictions. So it's very important. If something is important to you, you should be asking the HOA prior to purchasing the house, because it could be a deal breaker for you. For example, let's go back to the pet example. If you have 3 dogs that you cannot live without, well, you should be paying attention to the pet rules within the HOAs. Now, every HOA is completely different, so it's very important that you are asking the questions that are important to you. Well, that wraps up episode number 65 of the Steve Talks Real Estate Show. If you haven't yet, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I have so much content on that YouTube channel that excites me. Keep sending in your questions and I will do my best to keep answering them. We'll see you next time.